People, Deluded, I'm back again. Now, to this week, better yet, I was about to say today, but this week we've got two games, We've got the Europa League against Dundalk, and on Sunday we've got the big one, Manchester United versus Arsenal. We go to Old Trafford. I've actually just seen Mike Dean as the referee, so I expect VAR to award Manchester United a penalty. I mean, that's been the case for 9 out of 10 of their games. I had to do it. But on a serious note, we've got Europa League on Thursday, We'll deal with the Premier League when it gets back going. We can talk about the game against Leicester all we want, and I'm as disappointed in the performance and what led to us losing as much as you are. But it's gone. We've got to get the Europa League on track. And actually, if we keep messing around like how we are in the Premier League, like for the last couple of seasons, we have to take the Europa League very seriously. In an ideal world, we qualify over a 38-game period within one of those top 4 spaces. I say one of those. I hope we win the league, but realistically, third or fourth, really, literally by the skin of our teeth, if we hope for that. So you qualify with that. And equally, I want to win the Europa League. It's a European competition. It's another trophy up for grabs to Arteta to make it a third. Obviously, you look at Lacazette, you look at Aubameyang, you look at Willian, you look at David Luiz. You ain't got too many years left as a professional footballer, So go and claim silverware. And obviously, it would be nice that would be the best season we could potentially have. In fact, the treble would be retaining the FA Cup, winning that, and qualifying for the top 4. Minimum, you have to bring Champions League football. Anything less is a failure. We know we've got a long way to go. And like I said, we have to take this very seriously now. I mean this in no disrespectful way to the teams in the group, because Rapid Vienna were a good outfit. We've still got to play them, and they should believe they could get something of Arsenal. Molde's a good outfit, but we should be beating them. And you've also got Dundalk. Don't underestimate them. And whatnot. I think they're third in the Irish division. When I looked on Google, I don't know too much about them. Looking at their team, there's been a couple of players that have been at Liverpool, been at Watford, and been around the block in a couple of others. They played for good Irish teams, or they've played for or been through the academies of a couple English teams. And why I think that's of relevance, because if I think is it Sean Murray? He played for Watford's academy. That's literally next door to Arsenal. You're not gonna have too many games, where your friends and family are gonna watching you against a big Premier League side. So, and I say that, hit it, fallen giants, whatever, but Premier League giant, you're going to be up for it. So they're going to be up for it. They're going to have nothing to lose. Everyone expects them to lose, so they might as well play with no fear. These are the games you dream of playing against household names. So they should play with no fear, and that's why I'm scared, at the same time. Again, we should be winning, but they're a good outfit and they do have quality. They lost their last game, so I actually think they're third in the division. Third in our group. I think Rapid Vienna is last. I could be wrong on that. Yeah, Rapid Vienna is last, Dundalk are third, Molde's second, and you'd probably expect Molde to beat Rapid Vienna. Molde will probably be our competition in the group. Again, can't underestimate any side, but we need to do the business. The quicker we can mathematically guarantee qualification, the better. The more other players can get game times. Now, obviously, the last Europa League game, in an ideal world, you don't bring on Aubameyang, you don't bring on Bellerin. Saka gets a rest. We made it harder than it had to be, and David Luiz picked up a knock in that game. He's continued where he's left off. Well, emerges apparently he's had a knock in that game unrelated to the one he suffered at the weekend. So we've been battering and bruising our first team players and whatnot. So we started off well. We named a strong team. We did what we needed to do away from home. Let's just make it 2 wins from 2. Let's not make this any harder than it has to be, because the games are coming thick and fast. We cannot disrespect Dundalk. We cannot talk about Manchester United on Sunday. At the time of making this is Tuesday. Thursday comes before Sunday, so we need to respect our opposition. Obviously we've all got one eye on that, but let's take care of business really and truly. I don't expect him to name the strong side he did in the last game. I don't think it's required with that. With all due respect, some of the players I don't even think could be at this club should be thrown in and should put in a decent performance. The only question mark I can see as an Arsenal fan is we have a somewhat mini crisis at centre-half. Even centre-halves that are not at this club are now injured, I think Medley should have went out on loan. I think Medley, Harry Clark, McGuinness, Ballard, they've all gone out on loan and they're all doing what they should have done. You can't sit and wait for injuries. But ironically, if you had a Medley, if you had one of these players, there's a good chance they could have got minutes. We've got a bit of a centre-half crisis. I know Chambers is working his way back. I don't know how back he's yet. Marie apparently is edging ever closer to fitness. We've now lost David Luiz, for a second. Rob Holding, he's already out with a hamstring knock. There's, Saliba can't play in the Europa Europa. I think his time will come in the Premier League in the coming months and weeks, but Europa League, he's irrelevant to speak about. Socrates the same. So at a push, you know, it's Gabriel Saliba, Gabriel Mustafi, apologies, David Luiz if fit, Holding if fit, but again, you don't want to play them in any of these games because, you know, we're dropping like flies. So I'm interested to see what we do at centre half, really and truly. I'd probably, sadly, you have to probably play Gabriel. In an ideal world, can we get him out of there early on? You know, I'd even do a little greasy thing. Could you throw El Nene there? You know, there's always a possibility of that. Do you go with a back three and you throw El Nene there, or you know, you go with an El Nene and a Kolasinac, or you go with a Gabriel Mustafi and a Kolasinac / Tierney? You know, I'm sure he might revert to a back three. I'd like to see a four. Like I just said, in relation to injuries, people. You know, Willian probably not going to play. He's picked up a knock. It probably would be wise. David Luiz, he's obviously picked up a knock. I've already spoken about Marie Chambers and Holding. I would like to rest Saka. Can we afford to rest him? You know, he's one of the few performing players in a team that's hit a bit cool early in the season. I'm also tempted to play Partey. You know, can we give him 60 minutes? You know, because I'm not really convinced in too many midfield options. I think Xhaka should get the night off. I mean, Ceballos could probably start. You know, it could be Ceballos and El Nene really. But I think I would like to get Partey. You know, I want him to get a run of games in an Arsenal shirt. You know, get a feel for the team and whatnot. And he's able to do it, man. He played on Sunday. He can play on Thursday and he can do Thursday, Sunday again, people. As I said, you know, we've got 2 games this week. Let's have a positive one. You know, we've so let's see what we can do, man. Let's see what we could do. In relation to the lineup, people, you know, I've gone with Leno in goal. I've gone with a back 4. I've gone with Leno in goal, Maitland-Niles at right back, Mustafi and Gabriel at centre half, Kolasinac at left back. In midfield, I'm probably gonna go with El Nene and Partey, Joe Willock in a 10. You know, 60 minutes for Partey. In the front 3, I would go with Emil Smith-Rowe, Reiss Nelson and Eddie Nketiah. Although I could understand if he actually started Pepe or he started Willian if fit, even though I wouldn't risk Willian. I could even understand if he played Saka, but I don't think Saka should start. You know, there are some things I would like to see Smith-Rowe play in the actual 10 position that I've got Joe Willock in. I actually feel he'll go El Nene, Joe Willock and Ceballos. I don't think Partey will play. You know, I would love Reiss Nelson to get a start. Minutes have been hard to come by, and I don't think it's a make or break season, but it's a season you want to see real progress. To do that, he needs an opportunity, and I hope it comes with the injury to Willian, you know, potentially needing to rest Aubameyang and Lacazette. Martinelli's not involved or of relevance to this game because he's not fit. So I'd love to see Reiss Nelson get a start and just get some more confidence, get some rhythm and put pressure on places, because I do think Reiss Nelson has a future at this club. Whether he wants to be a squad player, first team regular, or eclipse Bukayo Saka or do what Bukayo Saka does, it's down to him really and truly. He's got to work hard. I do think he should get an opportunity. Same goes for Smith-Rowe. I think he can give us something a bit different. You know, we already know the issues that are there creative wise, and I don't think, you know, Emil Smith-Rowe is coming back from Huddersfield 1,000 times a better player. I think we're getting a more confident player, a slightly more consistent player, and a more confident, like if I haven't said it already, just a more confident player in himself. He's still learning. He's still gonna have hot and cold moments, but like with Nelson, I would like to see him get an opportunity, because I do think he can help us. You know, he can help us with that creative role. He can help us out wide, where he's primarily got opportunities in an Arsenal first team shirt. But again, it's down to these boys to take their chances. Again, you know, Smith-Rowe's been a bit unlucky with injuries so far this season. I know Nelson of recent had an injury that kept him out of Sheffield United, but it's down to them to put pressure on spaces. You know, you never want a teammate to do wrong. Sorry, you always want a teammate to do well. That was a mistake. I think Willian is an Arteta favourite. I don't really think form is of relevance. Willian will play week in, week out, or significant football. But if I was looking at it without that, you know, without obviously wanting my teammate to do bad, now Willian's injured and he's been a bit iffy. Pepe continues to be a bit hot and cold. There's question marks over Aubameyang. You know, Aubameyang could be moved through the middle. Lacazette, who's also question mark based on the last game, could be dropped. You can see how spots could open up for you. You know, specifically with Willian and Pepe, go and say, okay, cool, let me go and complicate things. You know, I want to see Nelson, Martinelli do what Saka's doing and complicate things, really. You know, give Arteta a headache, make him forced to use you lot. For Eddie, you know, it's down to, you know, I don't really think Arteta is fully convinced in Eddie, fully convinced in Laka or Aubameyang. That isn't me saying he doesn't believe in their abilities, he doesn't believe in their capabilities, he doesn't feel they're not good enough. I just feel if he was to ask Arteta Arteta, 38 game period, would you play Aubameyang majority up front? I don't think he would. The same goes for the other two names. I think he likes the pressing that Lacazette can do and stuff, but I don't think he's fully convinced. And also the amount he demands of the pressing, like you lot see, someone's going to get subbed. I don't think he's fully convinced on Eddie, and I think Eddie's worked well in an Arsenal first team shirt, but he's not really been prolific. Decision making hasn't quite been there. And there's also the age-old argument, whether you agree or not, about Aubameyang's general play or whatever through the middle when he's not scoring. So I don't, and obviously through Willian through the 9, that didn't bang. I don't think he's convinced really with our striking option. So Eddie, it's a chance to go and confirm that and go and play ahead of Laka. You know, Laka didn't score last game. You're only as good as your last game. You score, you put pressure on spots going into the United game. And whatnot, people, because there are a lot of question marks. Like I said, hopefully we can get something positive out of this game, make it 2 wins from 2, and just handle business, and then firmly switch our attention to Manchester United away on Sunday at I believe 4:30. But in relation to my preview about Arsenal versus Dundalk, Dundalk versus Arsenal, this is all I have to say, people. And before I go, if we just quickly just look at the fixtures, because again, the games are coming thick and fast, people. You know, we're going to need all of our squad across all these competitions to stand up and be counted, people, because, you know, we've got Dundalk at home at 8 o'clock. They come to our place. I know the fans aren't going to be there, but, you know, this is the moments of being in European football, playing against these sort of clubs. We've then got Aston Villa, who, yeah, they lost on the weekend, but they've had a good start to the season. You saw what Leeds did against Aston Villa. We've got Leeds away after that Villa game, you know. Actually, after Dundalk, if you haven't known already, we've got Manchester United. We've also got Mulder after that, which, again, is going to probably be between our two sides to decide this group. As I already said previously, you've got Villa, Leeds, you've then got Europa League against Mulder, and then in the Premier League, you know, you've got Wolves, you've got Spurs away, and sandwiched in between that, you have Rapid Vienna. So the games are coming thick and fast. Anyone that wants to be a first team regular or wants to have an important say in this season needs to stand up to be counted, because really there's a lot of question marks, you know. Looking at this opening period of the season, who's really nailed down their spots? I feel Gabriel's nailed down his centre-half spot. I think wherever Saka's played, he's nailed it down. Tierney, to a degree, you could throw him in. David Luiz's form generally this season has been okay. Not saying he's with them and there, but other than that, nobody's nailed down a spot. You know, Leno's our first choice, but as he ain't fully convinced. You know, right backs haven't fully convinced. You know, apart from Gabriel in centre half, he ain't fully convinced. Central midfielders, you know, Partey's just come, so he's irrelevant to this. To be fair to El Nene, when he's got looks in, he hasn't done wrong. But again, is anybody fully convinced? Xhaka and Sabas have been okay, but the same goes for them. Aubameyang's a bad boy baller, so let's never ever forget that. But have people been fully convinced this season, based on this season? I'm talking about earning spots? Nobody. About 2 players, Gabriel and Saka, are the only ones that, if I'm Arteta, you know, their first names on the team sheet, with exception of Leno for obvious reasons. You know, nail down your team sheet. Go and give Arteta a headache, because that's the period we're in. You lot talk the talk before the season started, in the early days, how you want to win, you want to do this and that. That's great. But you've got to keep that motivation, keep doing these things when the times are hard. Times are hard right now. You just lost to Leicester. Nobody feels sorry for us. I defo don't. We can't afford to feel sorry for ourselves. We've got to get with it on Thursday, and then we've got to go to Old Trafford, where we ain't travelled well too tough. Last one day in 06. As I know, that's one thing I know off by heart any time since I've started YouTube. When I talk about Manchester United away in the league, people, I can tell you off the top of my head, 2006 last time we won there. I started secondary school then. We're now in 2020, where I'm 25. We still ain't won there. I've had cane rolls, you know, I've actually grown a bit, not that I'm the tallest, you know, at this rate I'm getting facial hair. I might even have a goatee by the time Arsenal win the league again. But we're going off topic. Like I said, Thursday, we're back in action. Arsenal against Dundalk. Hopefully we do the business. Please comment, please like, please subscribe. And the main thing is, for me really, is the lineup, because I would want to go with 4 at the back, but I could see a 3. I really could see him go with a 3. You know, if Mustafi, you know, you go with a Mustafi. Gabriel has to do a job for us. He has to play this game. You go with a Kolasinac. You know, Maitland and Bellerin, probably you can get away with them on either side, and the rest of the positions sort themselves out. But I would like to see 4 at the back, but who knows. On that note, I'm going to get out of here, man. It's always a pleasure. DG.